Donovan Mitchell might honestly be the most underrated player in the NBA today. And I know underrated is a typical term that's thrown around all the time where people just say, oh, a player's really good, but he's not winning all the time, or a player's really good, but he's not in the media all the time, therefore he's underrated. No. Something is underrated when it hasn't received the merit, recognition, or praise it deserves. It is rated simply too value or too low. It's not necessarily a popularity contest, it's more so appreciating the value when the subject is brought to hand. Of course, if you go by popularity contest, he'd still be underrated. Bro plays in Utah though, so that's not necessarily a fair thing to do. But what I'm trying to get across, and hopefully people understand, is that when he is brought up, he is still underrated. And the crazy thing is, people do understand his value, but they just don't appreciate it to the level that they should. And to be honest, while I'm recording this video, I have in the back of my mind that nobody's even gonna see this video. Why is that? Because again, he's underrated. And it really shocks me because anybody who's more than a modern day casual basketball fan knows Utah has no really pleasable offensive options outside of Donovan Mitchell. They admit he's the only way they really score the ball efficiently, and yet he's still underrated. It's actually kind of criminal. Let's take it back to the 2017 NBA draft, where he was selected number 13 overall to the Denver Nuggets. Ironically, the team he is currently facing in the bubble playoffs. As I may have hinted, or you guys already know by now, at least should, Donovan Mitchell's time in Denver was very short-lived, as it wasn't even 24 hours. In fact, it may not even have been an hour. Now, I'm not going to go back and time the draft, but 11 picks later, Donovan Mitchell was traded for Tyler London, who was the 24th pick in the draft, and Trey Lyles to the Utah Jazz. Now, Denver's a good team and all. They actually did really well building this young core, but I think that's safe to say they fucked up on that. Regardless, Donovan Mitchell wasn't exactly going to your 24th overall pick caliber team, as arguably their best player, all-star forward Gordon Hayward, actually went to Boston in that free agency. And they also lost George Hill, who was averaging a good 17 points on 47% shooting, 40 from the three-point line. A lot of people go at Donovan Mitchell by saying he went to a 51-win roster that made it to the second round of the playoffs, but ignore the fact that they lost their best player and easily a top 3 one in George Hill. However, the 27 Jazz team did pick up Ricky Rubio and Jay Crowder, so give credit where that is, I guess, but that's still not quite Gordon Hayward. But even with all of that, Donovan Mitchell goes on to average 21 points, 4 assists on 44% from the field and 34 from 3 on 7 threes a game. The Jazz go on to only lose 3 more games than they did with Gordon Hayward, and it actually gets crazier because in the first round he takes on the 2018 Thunder. This Thunder team was led by Russell Westbrook and Playoff P. And I'm just gonna say it, if D-Mitch had a different name, different personality, play style, or even just him being in Utah, to be honest, I don't even know, but if any rookie ever took out an MVP and an MVP candidate like that in their first series ever in their rookie season, hype would be an understatement as to what that rookie would go through. Because in his debut series against that Thunder team, Donovan Mitchell averaged 29 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, on 46% from the field and 36 from 3. Literally any rookie would have gotten praise. And I'm not saying nobody praised him, but you get the memo. Like, it would have been all over the fucking place. But then again, now that I think about it, it could have been avoided due to the fact that Paul George simply, Playoff P. I guess it was more fun to make fun of Playoff P and Mr. Triple Double. Damn, y'all remember when niggas used to love that shit, bro? Oh my god, he averaged triple-double. Nigga, you could lose the game with 15 turnovers. If you got a triple-double, you was a legendary ass nigga, man. Oh my god, bro. Never take me back. Never take me back. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the memory whether he was injured or not, but looking at these stats and remembering how the games look, bro was some shit in Houston, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. That's my guy, but he was some shit in Houston. Nigga was averaging 19 points on 36%. Like, he was on some playoff P shit. Like, oh my god. But I guess what I'm saying is, considering what he did so young in his career, that's not mentioned enough for my liking, and it really needs to start being talked about more, because if he goes on to beat Denver, his only series loss, yes, he played bad, but it was only to the 2017 Rockets that took the Warriors to 7 games. The Warriors being the greatest team of all time. But enough about his resume, let's talk about his play style, because again, he's only been here 2 years, his resume ain't gonna be that good. His greatest strength is easily his athleticism and getting to the rim. Donovan Mitchell is 6'3", alright? Unless you're an insanely talented finisher like Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving, you're gonna have to be pretty damn athletic to finish in the paint. Not only does Donovan Mitchell fit that requirement, he's also consistently strong in the paint. Like, a lot of guys get tired or whatever, and over time periods of the game, they'll start taking plays off, or if they're wide open, they'll shoot a layup or a weak ass layup and probably get that shit blocked sometimes. Donovan Mitchell, every time he has an open lane in the paint, that nigga's dunking the ball. His name isn't Spida for nothing. The nigga jumping high as shit. Yo, if you haven't watched Donovan Mitchell in-game dunk, go watch Donovan Mitchell in-game dunk. You're missing out on a really exciting player. To be honest, the only player that comes to mind who consistently finishes that strong at the rim is Russell Westbrook, and he might just actually be a crackhead. Like, I don't know how he has that much energy in every game. He used to be my favorite player, but we'll talk about him at a later day. But like Russell Westbrook, funny enough, he actually knows how to stop on a dime and pull up for a mid-range. And he also has a good three-point shot. However, it's not as flashy as I made it seem outside of the finishing, of course, because bro really has a simple style of play. I'm not saying this is all he can do by any stretch, but it's pretty much all he really does. It's either a pull-up midi, a three, or dunk. Now, he has improved his handle significantly, and I'm not saying he's some old-school built-ass player, but I think that, along with him being in Utah, is the reason he's underrated. Because you gotta think, all the recent hype from Donovan Mitchell has been from the bubble. Before the bubble, outside of a player or two, there wasn't any Donovan Mitchell hype. Let's just be honest with each other. And outside of his location, of course, I think it's just because he simply doesn't go out there with the attitude of dropping 30, 40, 50 a game, more so than just winning the damn game. And what I've seen from these playoffs is if winning the game means score 50 points, he can easily go out there and do it. But in general, most of the time he likes letting his other players get into rhythm, even if he's not a phenomenal playmaker himself. So I guess the final question needed to be answered is, where exactly do I rank Donovan Mitchell? I don't know what sub goal I want this to be, so you guys comment below what sub goal you want me to do this part at, but I'm not going to drop my current top 50 until I hit one of those sub goals that I'm thinking of, which is either 100 or 1,000. However, if I want to compare him to shooting guards, for example, I guess I can do that. For starters, he ain't better than James Harden, let's stop it. He ain't better than Clay, again, let's stop it. And by the way, I'm not going in order from who I think is best to worst, it's just ironic that I named the top two. Now, Bradley Beal should be better than Donovan Mitchell, but he's not. I don't know why. I don't know what intangibles he lacks. I don't know if it's just him making the game harder for himself consistently, and I'll admit he does have a significantly worse roster around him, but for whatever reason, you always get the feeling about Bradley Beal that he will never exactly kill you, he will just be really annoying to deal with for 48 minutes. Put it this way, to keep it short and just to make sure this video doesn't turn into a Bradley Beal versus Donovan Mitchell thing, I feel like if Donovan Mitchell was somebody's second star player, that team is a lot better than if Bradley Beal is. However, if Donovan Mitchell is the third star player and Bradley Beal is your third star player, I feel like the team with Bradley Beal is the better team. Take what you want from that, but as of right now, I'm taking Donovan Mitchell, even though Bradley Beal is insanely talented. Like, insanely talented. Now, here's the thing about D-Mitch versus Devin Booker, though. Prior to the bubble, it was D-Mitch, no question. No doubt, no debate whatsoever. And a lot of people are going to be shocked by that. A lot of people are going to be triggered by that because people are just learning about who D-Mitch is and has been. And I'm not saying D-Mitch isn't elevating his game in the bubble right now, but he's always been a similar-esque player. He just wasn't of the mindset of, I got to drop 50 tonight, I got to drop 30 tonight. But when you lose half your damn roster and you only get Mike Conley back, yeah, you got to drop 50, bro. So prior to the bubble, I definitely was taking D-Mitch all day, every day, and my friends hated me for it. Devin Booker was playing immature ball at the time, and he was an empty stat god. But the way Devin Booker has grown his game so much and is so mature now, he takes smarter shots, better shots, and more efficient shots. I gotta go with D-Book, man. I just have to go with D-Book. And I love Donovan Mitchell way more, but nah, I gotta go D-Book, man. Stop comparing my man D-Mitch to this nigga Zach LaVine. I get it, Zach LaVine can score, bruh, stop that, bro. Just stop it. I'm not even gonna talk, bro. Stop it. Especially after this playoff series, I've earned a ton of respect for CJ, but nah, we know D-Mitch got that. Now, when it comes to Paul George, as you may expect it, in the regular season, I'm taking Paul George. In the playoffs, taking Donovan Mitchell. But if I had to start my own team, who am I taking? I'm actually gonna take D-Mitch for the sole purpose that Paul George can't be a best player. I just don't want to imagine that team, to be honest with you. I know what he did with LeBron was cool. Rada. Roy Hibbert was a damn all-star at the time. But to put it blunt, I think those years are really an anomaly. Granted, it may be due to injury, but it is what it is. And I don't know exactly if Luka counts, but if he does count as a shooting guard, say goodbye. Hell no. And any other shooting guard I didn't name, I don't think is a debate. I'm taking Donovan Mitchell all day, every day, in every situation. But that's going to do it for today's video. It's been your boy TSO Sage. I know I quote missed yesterday, but honestly, it was kind of intentional. I'm not going to get into politics too much, and I'm not educated enough to do so. But I do agree with what transpired yesterday, and I figured it'd only be respectful for me not to upload something about them while they're currently trying to stay out of the media. At least on the day they announce it. Obviously, I have my own career to look after, and they're coming back, but again, I'm not going to get too deep into it. But on that note, it's been your boy TSO Sage. Subscribe for more content, especially basketball talk. We still on the road to 100. We're only 12 subs away, so let's keep it pushing. Therefore, and I can't say it enough, please subscribe to the channel. Stop killing black people on the street, and I will holler at y'all later. Take care.